Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm technical support for By Demes Ireland, and today I want to talk a little about OEM brand of By Demes. I'll start by showing them on the screen here. I already got my direct references here, so I'm just going to type them down. Okay, it's this one here. So as you can see, it's a 4-channel IP recorder. Goes up to 4K. You got classic stuff like I know you got one hard drive port. It works with IDMSS, EVO Plus, and Smart PSS apps. For more specifications, you can check the list here. Okay, and the camera that I have with this one is let's open a new tab. This one here. So you can actually recognize these OEM devices by so you go into products, you go into CCTV, in this case a network camera, and for brand you just choose OEM here, and they will have names like IPC, references like IPC, and then for the recorders it would be NVR and then some numbers. So they're not the same as SAMs, which you can find here later on the list. SAMs here, so they are different. Okay, so the camera I have here is a bullet camera. Let me see it on the list. I think we can find it like this. So bullet, IPC, UV. Okay, we have some Lahuas here, so I have to separate it again. Okay, this is the one I have here with the motorized lens. So it's quite good camera. It has a motorized lens, got quite a low requirement for light. IP67, 4 megapixel. It's a decent camera. Got real VDR, very important. Okay, so I'm going to show a bit of setup, and I'm going to show it through the web browser. I have my recorder defaulted, so I'm going to show you how to initialize it and how to start it up. Well, you can do these things on the recorder itself, but in my case, I'm going to show with the web browser. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use the config tool, but not the one that comes with the HUA toolbox. It's a general config tool, which I have, and I can send to anyone that needs it. So let me just find it here in my folders. Config tool. Okay, there it is. It looks exactly the same pretty much, but it's going to allow you to find these OEM devices and use it to initialize them, modify IPs, reset the devices, and so on. So I have my recorder here. Initialization is done pretty much the same way as it is on the HUA devices. So if I press initialize, this window will pop up, and I just have to press initialize, and then I just have to choose my password. So I'm going to choose the default password, which is admin1234, and email address in case I want to reset passwords afterwards, but I don't need this in my case. Click next. You get this screen here. So I'm going to disable auto check for updates, and the device will be activated. And it's going to say default IP and version, and so on. Click on finish. Okay, and now this is my IP address of the recorder, but what I'm going to do is to access it easier, I'm going to switch it to my local IP address. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it the DHCP. I'm going to press OK. I might have to apply this change, I might have to get my username set here. So username and password, so I can apply the settings. Okay, modify DHCP. Okay. Okay. Let's see if it's going to switch to DHCP. If not, I'll do it manually. Okay, there it is. So now it switched to my IP range, and now I can easily access it with the web browser. So I'm going to open Internet Explorer because I think it's doesn't have a lot of issue with plugins. So my IP address is 10. Oh, okay, I already have it from before. Press enter, and I got the web service screen here. I got my password in, and I click enter. Okay, as you can see, it started up on the Spanish, but we can easily change this by going to config, and by going to system, going to general, and idioma is language, and change it to English. And click yes. Recorder will restart, and it's gonna start up with the English language. Now this startup with Spanish, I believe it's gonna be ironed out later in the firmware. If not, maybe already is. I didn't check if there's any newer firmwares. So I'm gonna give it a bit of time to start up. Okay, I actually have a monitor just across me, so I can see when it started up. This recorder works with the Hua devices without issues, so that's important to keep in mind. Okay, it should have started now. I use my password for login. It's giving me a message, no hard drive. Okay, that's fine. And here I got a few tabs. First of them is, as usual, preview, where you can preview your cameras. In case your camera is a, I don't know, motorized or PTZ, you can control it with options here on the right. Okay, I believe my recorder is telling me there's no hard drive. So let me see if I can turn this buzzer. Okay, it's actually turned off already. All right, it stopped. It's good now. Okay, so you can view your cameras as every other recorder by left-clicking this camera here on the list, and my camera will pop up. As I said, you can use these controls to play with your zoom, focus, iris, and so on. You can set up your image. In case the camera has a dual-way communication supported, you can talk here with the audio. And I mean, you can choose streams here, Substream 1, Substream 2, nothing special there. You got some additional controls here. You can change from high quality to low quality, and some additional options here like digital zoom, and you can kill off the sound and so on. Next tab is playback. Here, if I had a hard drive, you can choose date, time, which camera, what stream type, and you can check the recording here. On this tab, you can set up different alarm types, and what do you want the recorder to submit? Which alarm types? Okay, I'll leave setup for last. Then we have info. You can check your serial number here. You can see the build date of the firmware. You can also see the log, as on most recorders. You can see the online users. I only have admin set up as a user, and you can see your hard drive, which I don't have right now. Okay, and if we go to setup, here you have some options for image. You got the registration where you would be adding all the cameras. So you can, same as on the Hua, you can do a device search. And for this camera I have added here, I actually device searched, and as long as it was inside my IP range, I added it automatically. No special work needed. And you can also upgrade the cameras through this web browser. Well, I can also go directly on the camera and do it that way, but you can do it here if you want. Okay, you can even see the type of your camera here if you're not sure if your camera is already mounted up somewhere high up, and you can modify the parameters and so on. Okay, then you can play with the image quality, not quality, the settings, where you can I don't know, tell camera to autofocus, or okay, it's stuck on this screen. I think it's autofocusing. Yeah, it is. Okay, contrast, brightness, you can mirror the image and so on. Then encode is where you would set the quality of the camera. Nothing special there. I don't think this needs any explanation. You can change the overlay of the camera. You can change the path to screenshots and recording. If you're saving recording on the computer, for example, you can change the camera names. As you can see, everything is pretty clean. The interface is clean, and it's easily set up through the web browser. Next one is network. Now I have my DHCP set up here, so I'm not gonna change this, but you can change it easily here. You can set it on static as well. You can check your ports here. You can use dynamic DNS if you really want to. Okay, this is email for the alerts. Okay, and we have P2P here. It's already enabled for my device, and it's in this case it's using the Hua's P2P. So there was actually with this recorder came without the specific firmware, so this was not working, but with this firmware everything's fine now on this one. So next one is switch. Here is where you can adjust the internal IP address of the recorder, and your devices will be inside this range. So this is the default one, and I didn't change it. So all the IPC cameras that come for this recorder, they come with I believe this range, but you can change it with the config tool if you want. Next one is event. Got classic video detection, where you can check only to have motion detection, and okay, PTZ to okay, same as the other recorders basically. You can have video loss reported for specific periods as well, and tampering with the video. Okay, now we also have alarm section. Don't think this needs any explanation. And then we have stuff like abnormality, if there's no hard drive, or there's an error with the hard drive. You can enable buzzer. or disable buzzer. Send emails, have logs, show messages, and so on. Same for network, and same for logins. Okay, then the storage. Okay, nothing special there. You can have schedule. You can set your motion detection here as well. Or you can specify specific periods. Okay, AGD manager, nothing special. Record. Yeah, can play with these as well, but I don't really see point. Okay, and you got the general options like system, where you can change languages. You can change time of the recorder. It's on default time zone, so let's put it on +1. Okay, save. Or you can sync it with your PC if you're connected like this through a web browser. Then you can change basic stuff like resolution. Now I have it on a 1080p monitor, so I don't want to go over this. If I go over this, it could lock out. I know some customers that did this and then they had issues. So I can set it on 1080p. Okay, voice prompts. You can add users here, or you can add groups of users. You have IP filters, and other similar things. You got auto maintenance, where you can reboot the recorder, set it to auto reboot, which is kind of useful actually. Pretty standard with the recorders nowadays. You can import config files or export if you want to set all the recorders same way you set this one. And you can, of course, default it. You can do the factory default, or you can just default specific parameters. As most already know, it's always recommended to factory default the device after the newest firmware. I had a number of customers this issue. They would put a new firmware and they didn't reset the recorder, and it wouldn't basically apply the newest firmware, and therefore having issues with the recorder. Okay, and you can upgrade it here. You can upgrade the recorder with a file from here. Okay, and you can also open the camera directly. In case you're connected with the recorder locally like this, you can open your camera. Let me see, image registration. It's gonna give you an option here, web browser, and you can click on this icon and you can log in directly to your camera. Log in. Okay, allow plugins. Let's see if it's gonna work as normal. Usually these plugins are a headache. Okay, have to relog. Okay, it works. That's good. Okay, maybe just go through a few settings here. You can check the playback directly of the camera. You can see it's gonna, in this case, it's gonna search from the SD card because it's considering you have SD card because you logged in directly on the camera, not the recorder. And you can do some possibly advanced functions, advanced parameters of the camera in this way. Usually when you go directly with the camera, you would have more options than through the recorder. Okay, yeah, you can set up regions of interest and overlays and so on. Okay. Okay, quite a few options there. Okay, and another network settings of the camera, which I'm not going to go through because they should be pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and the last thing I just want to show is I want to connect my phone. So give me a second there. Okay. Okay, mirror phone. Okay, sorry for the delay. I'm just setting up my phone so you can see the screen, so I can show you the app a little bit. Of course, there's always tech issues when you're trying to show something. Oh, I think I know why. Let's see if this is the reason. My computer disconnected from the Wi-Fi. That's why they couldn't find each other. Yep, that's the reason. Okay. Okay, I believe you can see this now. Okay, so just gonna show, well, basically how it looks on the phone. So I'm gonna be using Evo Plus in this case. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go and add, okay, device manager. Well, you can directly scan the QR code. Okay, not yet. I have to pull up the QR code first. So, here, go to network, go to P2P, and okay. All right, QR code. Wait. Getting this message. Okay. Don't you just load tech issues, huh? Because this was all tested just before all this. Maybe we should do this then. Wire device, P2P, do this. Okay, there we go. Get my password in. And start. Cannot be empty, doesn't matter. Start live view. Okay, and you can view your cameras with Evo Plus as well. Now I was checking the GDMSS. I couldn't get it on GDMSS, but from the website, you can see that you can see here that it supports IDMSS. This is something I have to double check. Okay, here it says IDMSS, Evo Plus, and Smart PSS. It doesn't say anything about the GDMSS. This is something I can check. Is it only for iPhone devices, or yeah, I have to check this one. But you can see it works perfectly on the Evo Plus, and you can do all the usual stuff that you would do with the recorders added to Evo Plus. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. Any questions regarding this? I think it's all pretty much straightforward, but if there's a question, I can help with it. Okay. If there's no questions, I'll thank you all for attending, and I'll be actually having a training on Vesta intrusion, well, smart alarm, because it's not only the intrusion panel, you can also have smart devices, all kinds of smart devices. So I'll be having training on that on Friday. And then next week there should be more stuff. There should be OEM XVRs, which are pretty similar to NVR, but still I'm going to go through it. And there's also going to be some repeated trainings from, I know I'm going to have some about NVIS access control and so on, the attendance terminals and stuff like this. So until then, see you next time.